Here we see the new ACR7000 controller, specifically an ACR74C 4-axis controller. Let's step through these connectors. Here we have the quick reference guide for the 7000 controller. There's two Ethernet ports on the controller that share one IP address. They act like a switch and either can be used and can be daisy chained to the next device on the machine, reducing the need for a switch, or giving easy access to connect for troubleshooting while the other is used by the machine. The enable input is a motion enable input and is 5 to 24 volts input. There's a status light right below. If it's green, the control has control power. If it's off, it doesn't. The control power is on the bottom left and is a 24 volt input. The optional analog input connector is on the top. The axis connectors have standard quadrature encoder inputs, step and direction output for steppers, the DAC analog output. There's also the drive fault input, drive enable output, and also a drive reset output. The inputs and output pins are shown with the corresponding bits. There's also the status LEDs for the axis status on the very bottom. The first 25-pin D-sub connector has discrete inputs 0 through 11. If input 0 is active, you'll see that in PMM in the common status panel or bit status panel, and that is pin 23 respective to pin 24. The second 25-pin D-sub connector has the 8 high-speed trigger inputs. Those can be used as general purpose inputs if you're not using them as high-speed inputs. There are also the 4 discrete outputs, bits 32, 33, 34, and 35. So programming wise, if you did a set 32, it would turn on the first output 32, pin 7 respective to pin 8. The 4-axis controller only has two 25-pin D-subs with 20 inputs and 4 outputs. The 8-axis controller has 4 25-pin D-subs and doubles the I/O with similar pinouts as the first two, with a total of 40 inputs and 8 outputs. There's axis lights on the bottom of the controller. Green means the axis is enabled. Off means the axis is disabled, no fault. Red means the axis is faulted and has been disabled.